Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I was trying to understand ego from your khutbah, like the last Thursday you left before. The ego, if isn't that our self? The nafs is our self.
Mm-hmm.
So controlling the ego is basically controlling ourself.
Yes. But it is one part of you. One part of you. The real part of you is your spirit. Allah put another part that is also there, which is your ego. You understand? Your desires are also another part of you. This dunya is another part of you. Didn't the Holy Prophet ﷺ says that everyone is born with a shaitan, everyone has a shaitan? Yes? But he said, I've made my shaitan to become what? Muslim. So that shaitan is also a part of you. Do you understand? But out of these four parts and your spirit, the most powerful, the most dangerous, highest is your ego. It's not even shaitan. Ego is wild, yes. Is shaitan wild? No. What wild means? No law. Does anything it wants. No plan. Yes? Does shaitan have a plan? Yes. Ego doesn't. Our ego is just does whatever it wants. That's why the ego's shaykh is shaitan. If you are not having a shaykh to learn how to control your ego, you have no shaykh. The ego always has a guide. And the ego's guide is shaitan. Do you understand? So, the spirit now, it has to know how to control it. Controlling the ego. If you know how to control the ego, then you'll be able to understand dunya a little bit, how to control it, shaitan a little bit, how to control it, your desires a little bit, it comes. That is the root cause. So, the wildness of the ego, if we don't control it, shaitan will control it. That's all. If you control it, it'll be a burak that will bring you to paradise and higher. If the ego controls it, then that burak will bring you to Jahannam or to non-existence. Understand? So, I don't know if it's answering both questions, but it's interrelated. Yes? So that is how you want to understand the ego. The more you understand the enemy, more you can learn its tricks and its traps and how to control it.
Can we differentiate or can we understand if it's whether it's our spirit or our ego?
Of course. Of course, you can. The spirit is always guided by Allah and His Prophet, ﷺ. The awliya Allah. That's why, in a very quick, easy way, which is the prophetic way, is to have a shaykh. None of those ones who are following prophets, they don't know what is the order of Allah and what is the order of the ego. Never in confusion, yes? They're never in confusion. So you would know whether it's coming from your ego or coming from your spirit, because the spirit is always in obedience. And it wants to agree, it agrees. Why I say it wants to agree is because a spirit does not have complete power in this world. In this world. It has four enemies. You understand? So, is important to know that the spirit is always in submission. The spirit is always thinking. Spirit is always checking yourself, not others, yourself. Like what Shaykh Efendi says, our Grand Shaykh says, for 40 years I was the doorkeeper to my heart. Doorkeeper doesn't mean just you're standing there like a doofy, like so many of you. That means that you have to check, yes? What's the password? Who are you? Where are you coming from? Because people who come to your door, especially the high-level enemies, they're never going to come to you as an enemy. They're going to come to you as a friend. Then you're going to check it. So the spirit is always inquiring. The spirit always wants to know. It always wants to know. Because it is the spirit's character. Because the more it knows itself, the more it knows its Lord. Do you understand? Does shaitan want to know? Does it know itself? No. Does the ego want to know itself? No. Because if shaitan and the ego knows itself, knowledge is coming from who? Allah. If it knows itself, it's going to be in submission to Allah. Shaitan will be in submission to Allah and admit that I'm wrong. But Allah has given the power of disobedience more to the ego than to shaitan. Not just power of disobedience, Allah has given the ego the power to declare itself Lord. The power of committing shirk. Not just to say there's another Lord, but to say I am the greatest Lord. Everyone's ego is worse than Firaun, worse than Nimrud. Everyone's ego. So now, if you're in the way of tariqat, you're going to be very careful to watch, to learn. How do I declare? Do I declare myself today? Am I declaring my own existence? Am I declaring my lordship? Am I declaring that I'm Firaun? Or am I declaring that my Lord is Lord and I'm a servant? You're going to check your intentions, your actions, other people, what they did to you. You're always going to check. The spirit is always in a state of collecting more and more and more knowledge and asking. All those questions in Quran al-Karim when Allah is saying, do you not think? Don't you understand? It is not to the spirit, it is to the ego. People who follow the ego. You understand? So that's why tariqat is to make you to inquire, to ask. You have to take a mirror and you have to look and you have to watch. Polishing, nobody can polish when you do it in ghaflat. Polishing means you have to look very carefully. What other people don't see, you will see. And you must clean it. You must know where it's coming from. Polishing means you cannot even touch it. Because if you touch it, you'll leave a fingerprint there. What Shaykh Maulana talking about the zikr is not just to say Allah, 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 pull the tasbih and then you're going to kick all these things out. No. It comes, zikr of Allah comes with so many conditions. Because you can make Allah, Allah, Allah and you're remembering different things. You can say Allah, Allah, Allah with the tongue, but the heart is saying different things. The heart, whether we want to or we don't want to, we believe or we don't believe, the heart is saying, is making zikr, but it's not just making zikr like in the tongue. It is acknowledging, it is understanding. It is declaring Allah. You understand? It's not repeating. It's not repeating. We just repeat. They declare. Then they understand. So, now we have to be in a state of declaration. We have to give shahadat. And that state of declaring Allah, that's why you see, to bear witness, to declare, the word shahid, it shares similarity to the one who is a martyr. He finished himself and he declares only Allah. You understand? So how do you finish yourself? So many ways of finishing yourself. So many ways. Someone says something to you you don't like. You can say something, you can think something, or you can finish yourself. You understand? Shaitan comes to you whispering something, you say, it makes sense. No, you can also finish yourself, saying, no. La. No. Some complaint comes, you say, no, you finish it. You finish, you finish, you finish. And that time you say everything is coming from Allah. Everything is coming from Allah. And that time, because you're thinking and you're inquiring and you're finding out, this is coming from my Lord. What is my job in this now? What is my role? Your role, if the whispering comes, to say no. Your role, when battle comes to attack you, sometimes it is just by sitting and not doing anything. Sometimes it is by protecting. Sometimes it is by finishing yourself. You understand? So now, when you're following now the Shaykh and you're following him properly, you will know what role you have to play. That's why it is important to be in Sohbat. Otherwise, 20 years you're following, you don't have any idea what you're doing. It's not because the Shaykh is not giving. He's opening doors every day, hundreds of opportunities. But they're saying, no one is knocking. No one is coming in. No one is saying, let me just sit over there to help it out. Sleeping. It's okay, you're not making any wrong thing, but you're losing so much. But this is not the place also. Yes, it may come to the time I will stop waking you up and I will work with those whom I have, because it takes a lot of time and energy to wake people up. You understand? But those who are already awake, we can do something with them. I'd rather be doing something with them. So, to warn is something else. Okay, we're warning people. That's what we have to do. Not just warning people, we're warning ourselves too. These words are first for me. So now, one thing that the khutbah is saying, carry on from yesterday. Don't be busy with confusion. Shaitan to confuse you. Weakness is something else. Weakness, you do something wrong and you understand it's weak. You understand it's wrong. Weakness means you understand it's wrong, yes? To be confused means that you think it's right. You understand? You do something wrong and you say, Astaghfirullah, I'm weak, I keep doing this. You never say it is right. Shaitan can never trick you to say it's right. You're weak, you keep doing it. But it becomes confusion when Shaitan whispers to you and says, why are you saying it's wrong? Maybe it's right. Then that is wrong. Shaitan will attack you. Shaitan will try to make you to have doubts. But if you open the door and you start to entertain those doubts, there's not weakness anymore. That's opening the door to Shaitan. You understand? Yes. Now, what is beneficial knowledge? Knowledge that
concerns you.
Knowledge that concerns you. What is the knowledge that concerns you in tariqat?
Yourself.
Yourself, finished. Don't be busy with other people's knowledge. Don't be busy with other people's ups or downs, rights or wrongs. Don't be busy. There's a trap from Shaitan. Don't be busy. If we talk about it, look at it, because Shaykh talks about it, because we talk about it, just look at it as a painting. You understand? Oh, it's like this, like this. Oh, it doesn't concern. Don't look at it as a person, judging him, this and that. Don't. Because once you start doing that, Then pretty soon, Shaitan will just whisper, well, what about your guide? It's not perfect. What about your guide? He's doing this. What about him? He's doing this. Never has been done before. Why is he doing this? Chef, and he's not doing this. On, and then you open and you say, huh. So now you have a doubt. Instead of closing the door and admitting it's a weakness, because you keep opening the door and saying, and blocking, no. So you start, and that doubt, once it is a hook, Shaitan puts a hook there. Very painful now. Then it starts to get bigger. The sheikhs are not looking at our strengths or even our weaknesses that they are going to be pulling their support. He's looking at whether you doubt or not. You understand? Because doubt is the opposite of what? Faith. Faith. Complete opposite. Now doubt, yes, it can lead you to kufr. It can. Yes? Yes, we're saying Shaitan is still admitting Allah is Allah, yes. Shaitan is not saying there's another one, there's Allah. No, we're not saying that. But Shaitan is saying in Allah's presence, you are wrong. You understand? It's pretty heavy, no?
Yes.
And more tilky. No, I'm not saying you are not Allah, but I question your judgment. No, you are still the Shaykh, but I question your judgment. You understand? You understand why now it is more shaitanic than it is your ego. Because the ego is wild. It doesn't have any plan, any strategy or something. But this, it has a strategy. It's coming from somewhere and it's going somewhere too with that. Do you understand? It's shaitanic. Close the door. And you think Shaitan will not know every answer that Allah gives? It does. It does. That's why he's able to laugh when Musa alayhi salam brought the answer from Allah. He's able to laugh and saying, again, this is ridiculous. It becomes more shaitanic. And every day is becoming more shaitanic. Every moment is becoming, sinking deeper and deeper. May Allah protect us from all of that. May Allah make us to hold on tightly to our guide. May Allah make us to be busy with knowledge that benefits us, that concerns us. May Allah save us from this confusion of Akhir Zaman, outside and inside. May Allah make us to be busy with good people around us. May all the wrong people be away from our Jamaat and away from our hearts. May Allah forgive all our weaknesses. And may Allah make us to treat this month and the next month and the next month and all the months until we die with respect and with understanding His love and His generosity to us. And may Allah always make us to be dust under the feet of our Shaykh. May He always be pleased with us. May He intercede for us and forgive us, inshallah. May Allah forgive me and bless you. Al-Fatiha. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum.